Welcome to our last video of this German tour, and we carried on south to Zehdenick, and a bit further down we turned around at the lock of Bischofswerda. Now I want to tell you a bit more about the instruments. This is a steering wheel, of course. This is a throttle, forward, backwards and neutral. This is an emergency stop. This is the ignition key and the starter button. This is rounds per minute with 3 marks: green, orange and red. And I've learned green is 6 kilometers per hour for canals, orange is 9 kilometers per hour for rivers, and red 12 kilometers per hour for lakes. In the display, when you start, you see the voltage battery of the battery, and afterwards it changes automatically into the engine hours. Here we have the oil pressure and the temperature of the engine. This is the rudder position. You can see, is it right when you go straight ahead? This is the bow thruster. You start it when you press both together, and after a beep it is started, and then you can press left or right and the bow goes in the appropriate direction. This is a heating system with temperature to adjust, radio and an USB socket. And this light means it's the boat is on the shoreline at the moment, 240 volts. This is for a horn. Next, I don't know. Then the window wiper and different lights for tunnel light and positions red and green in the night. This, I don't know, maybe it was to measure the depth. Alright, that's it. We are just leaving Zehdenick lock, and ahead lies the Zehdenick lift bridge, and these both are automatically connected. So if the gates of the lock are opening, the lift bridge is going up. And after a while we turned around. It was our point of view turn on the lock Bischofswerda, and we came back to Zehdenick, and I want to show you a bit more of the town. This is the waiting area for the lift bridge and the lock, and just beyond there is a small guest landing space, so you are allowed for a few hours to stay there to have a look into the town. Old buildings, and maybe interesting, especially for the people abroad. The sign over the door means House of People Solidarity. Marketplace. And when you look at the signs, you see the river Havel is not far away. There's a sign to the Skipper Museum, to the lock and to the lift bridge. A closer look to the lift bridge. Meanwhile, it's only for pedestrians and cyclists, and if the lift bridge is open, the pedestrian can use the other bridge. Now we are waiting for the lift bridge to go up, and we have the sign red, and after a while it will change into green and you can go ahead, which we did, of course. Time lapse. Now we will close the sliding roof again. It's a bit cold outside. The next night we spent in the cozy Alton Half im Ziegeleipark. That means the old haven in the brickwork, former brickwork. This day also holds some surprises for us. Have a look. At kilometer stone 32, we turned right into the Templin waters. Only 2 kilometers or so, because the lock is at the moment in repair. But it was absolutely worth. We enjoyed the few hours of sunshine, great blue sky and blue waters. Fantastic. The translation of this lake is Great Cow Wall Lake. We decided to try out the anchor, but it was quite windy, as you can see, so it was a bit tricky. And now the process of lifting up the anchor again. Unfortunately, it is manually to do. Whoa, hard work, I would say. if we will ever have our own boat, it will be with a motor, I swear. Back on the Upper Havel River, the next lock comes in sight. Loch Schorfheide, Heide means heather. And we had some beastie friends. A cute little one. In the afternoon, the weather changed suddenly. Wow! Storm and raining cats and dogs. But only for 20 minutes or so. But we decided to stay at the bottom of the loch. Next morning we saw our first boat coming the other way, and it was turning around. It was a working boat, as we saw later, and turned in this specific place, and we followed. View from the top. Early spring was in the air this day. Here you see the first oncoming leisure boat, the one and only of its kind. And then we saw some shoeboxes, we call them, floating wooden houses with a small engine in the aft, in the stern, at the stern. we entered the Stolpsee, and that was the time. Let's crank it! And it starts to get a bit wobbly when you go in 90 degrees to the waves. It's a bit shaky, but then we turned around in another direction and directly against the waves, so it's better for the boat, but you have more exciting pictures. After half an hour or so, we came to Schwedsee. That is the sea where our basis is from Locaboat. So that was the end of our journey, and we turned the boat around, going backwards into the last free space. On the last evening, we met Heidi and Michael, a nice German boater couple, which we knew from their YouTube channel, Minimax. They cruise along the German waterways with their beautiful boat Recipe and have more than 2,300 subscribers meanwhile. We spent a nice evening together and also going into a lovely restaurant in Fürstenberg. We can recommend this YouTube channel, but unfortunately only for German speakers. Sorry about that. Last but not least, I can show you my logbook, of course, a spreadsheet. Typical Wolfgang. The key figures are 6 days cruising, 28 engine hours, 187 kilometers, and 18 locks. So only every 10 kilometers a lock, quite different to the English system, I guess. In summary, it was a good experience, but not cheap. In total, with diesel costs and electricity and mooring fees and all together, it was 250 euros per day. So a lot of money. Wow, Marlene is coming. Sit down, please. I'm just in the middle of the extra of our video. Hello. Yeah, I'm asking her what she thinks about the journey, and she told it was not quite what she has expected. The same with me. And it was a good experience, but we are not sure if we will stick to the plan to sell our boat and to buy a boat in Germany. It was hard to find an appropriate boat. Indeed, we didn't. Meanwhile, and maybe we will make another attempt in the summer when we are back in Germany. But now, first, next step is to come over to England, to our beloved Angelo, and cruise around the English system. So thank you very much for your interest, and we hope you are all safe and well, and hope to see you again. All the best for you. Bye for now.